All right, Sort of Sports Podcast, episode 169. Brayden Hayes, we witnessed another week of football action. It was a really strong week two slate. I felt like I was looking forward to a lot of these games. I think it mostly delivered.
I agree. I think it was a lot of close games, kind of like we expected going into the week, and then I think a lot of them, yeah, like you said, a lot of them delivered to the hype.
Yeah, I think there would be people that would argue that Bears Lions did not deliver to the hype, but as someone who was preying on the Bears' downfall in that game, uh, it lived up to my hype.
Yeah, I won't lie. I was expecting a little more out of Chicago, but Detroit just manhandled them. So, I think Detroit kind of came out of that week one slumber, but I also think that Chicago might not be the team that everybody thought they would turn into.
Yeah, I mean, 52 to 21 loss. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, that's a toughie. So
Well,
we'll
my
we'll
thing
see we'll
is,
see what happens after that.
I'm a little annoyed. And you know this, I was completely out on them. And I think I was just kind of annoyed because like everybody had just decided that Ben Johnson was going to be the next great offensive coach and everybody was talking it up and everybody was all like, "Oh, oh my gosh." And I always felt like it was a little cocky to be like cuz he declined other jobs and he waited another year at the Lions cuz he specifically wanted the Bears job. And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. Believe in yourself and believe in your dreams, but in the same sense, you're choosing to go to a division rival of Dan Campbell, and you know he's gonna be pissed off that you left him for a division rival. So you better have your shit together as soon as you leave." And I mean, they got the shit smacked out of them, and I think deservedly so. Dan Campbell's like, "All right, you think you're a big shot and leave? That's fine, but you're gonna get manhandled." Dan
Yeah,
Campbell just little broed him on national television.
he did, and I think that the national media tried to turn it into this the Lions, hating on him, and while the fans do, they were chanting about him throughout the entire game. But I saw a clip where a reporter asked, they scored on fourth down. It was fourth and goal. Like, how, should they have like kicked it? And he's like, no, it's fourth and goal. And Ben Johnson wasn't trying to make it any more than it was. And Dan Campbell's gonna try to score as many points as humanly possible. So I think it was a good first matchup. I expect the second one to be closer, depending on how it end up being throughout the season. I think we'll hopefully see them end up being like an okay team, starting to pick some momentum up with Caleb Williams. But it was a slaughter.
Well, and I would also say it's a bit concerning because if you are a team that is going to need a quarterback, um, in this next year's draft, I wouldn't be exactly excited based off what we've seen so far from college football.
Yeah, I get that, and I think we're still at the point in the college football season where it's either guys haven't played in big games, have just been playing, a bunch of these, just you're paying to get a 1-0 or 2-0 start against these smaller teams. You know, we haven't seen what we wanted to out of Manning yet, and he did have that good last game. I have no idea who they even played. Um, but I know he got benched because they were just like winning, right?
Yeah, they
So
played nobodies. I don't remember what it was, but it was like a small school.
right, so it's like that really doesn't mean a whole lot, and they played Ohio State, who's proving to be, I think, probably one of the top, if not the top, college defense. I mean, Matt Patricia. I don't know what changed in the pencil he puts in his ear, but something's different about that pencil
He's back
because
to Patriots, Matt Patricia. He's locked.
yeah, they're doing some good stuff there. But quarterback wise, there's Carson Beck. Is that like the exciting guy?
I
Not
was gonna
really.
joke and say Carson back. Like at this point, it might
Yeah,
be. Maybe
yeah, like
Miami's just
he's
become the new quarterback you.
yeah. We'll still see out of Cam Ward. He looked good. His receivers didn't help him, and he had that insane
Yeah.
throw. Well, like fifth, like that was a college football throw. I don't know. That doesn't deserve to work, but that was just insane. That throw.
I saw a tweet that's like Cam Ward is just doing Will Levis stuff, but it works.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like I can't remember. They say that all the time about like Patrick Mahomes. Like he just does stuff Jameis Winston does, but it works all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's true. Some guys just get away with it more, but he's been looking solid, even though they're not off to a good start record wise. But they played the Rams, so I think the Rams are solid. So I didn't expect them to win.
Well, and I've been impressed with Cam Ward because I think his biggest issue is truly the overconfidence thing. He believes he can make every big play. He holds on to the ball too long because he's trying to make that big play. And the thing is, you just got to hope like it probably won't be this year. Maybe we'll see flashes at the end of the season, but can he get to the point where he can make that big play or he matures to know sometimes you just got to throw it away. And I will say having that type of quarterback it's going to be either a big win or a big loss, right? He's either never going to put it together and he's going to be like Jameis Winston, or he's going to put it together and you're going to have somebody who's really special.
Yeah, a big buy-in has been into guys that are just like, athletically capable, guys who have the physical attributes. Everybody saw, I think it kind of just started with Josh Allen just being a physical, like this guy's a specimen. Then it went into, oh, Zach Wilson, he can throw the ball super far. He didn't pan out great. Anthony Richardson, he's had injury problems and he hasn't really had, a solid start to his career yet. And it's just these guys that you take chances on because if the physical payout is amazing, like you got a guy like Lamar who can just outrun like the entire defense, and it's just the like you get scared every time Lamar drops back because
Yeah.
that's just how much he can change a game. But it has changed to a physical quarterback.
Well, and I think that we probably saw this. I mean, I'm thinking of like Jamarcus Russell's an infamous one too. And then I think teams got away from that. And then Josh Allen kind of reignited that idea.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's ones before Josh Allen where they're like, oh, the physicals on this guy are good. Patrick Mahomes, while he might maybe he's not the fastest guy or like the most athletic guy, but he's faster than like the pocket passer that we've been used to seeing, or the Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton area. But he's like a guy that can just do anything with his arm. Like his arm talent is just unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, I was gonna ask you. So we were gonna start here, but then we ended up talking about that. So, what's the one team this week that really impressed you? I was gonna have you tell me that.
One team this week that impressed me. I can't remember who I chose last week. I feel like it could have been this team. I don't remember though. But
It was
the
Colts. I think it was
Packers.
Colts, right? Wasn't it Colts
The
last week?
Colts impressed me last week. The Colts, while they still impressed me this week, I'm not going to pick them
Okay.
for the sake of see. I maybe it was in the back of my head, but the team that impressed me was the Packers. I think they played a team who we thought might be the top of their division, a team who's gonna made a good run in the NFC last year, and who people think will probably do the same this year. And the Commanders and the Packers, they Jordan Love, he looked good. The receiving core, while it's injury riddled, Jordan Lee Reed left with that injury, which I haven't looked into any updates on that of what's going on with him. But I mean, they have Josh Jacobs, he's Josh Jacobs. He's almost like guaranteed to get you 3 yards. It feels like every single carry.
Yeah.
Um, I just I love their team. Their defense has started to look legit. They held the Commanders to 3 in the first half, and then the Commanders didn't really score until late in the game when it was almost out of reach. And the Packers just they looked amazing all around. I think LaFleur is a great coach, and I think really the team is going to kind of ride on this Jordan Love wave. And if Love can stay healthy, I think they will keep continuing to have a great season.
It feels like the lay of the land right now is like definitive contenders are Bills, Packers, Ravens, even though they lost their first game, and Eagles. It's like everybody would agree. And then the
Mm-hmm.
teams that people are like, hey, I kind of like them would be the Lions because people are a little worried after week one, but then week two they look good. The Bucks, even though they've had close games, they've come back and won both of them. And then I would say I was trying not to talk about the Chargers, but the Chargers. I mean, I'm really glad you didn't say the Chargers were the team that impressed you. Because I was wearing my Herbert shirt yesterday to try to purposely curse them, and it didn't work. Now they tried to give that game away at the end. Did you stay up and watch that?
I didn't watch it, but I mean, I looked at like the box score and it looked like a very like weird game.
It was, and at the end they really tried. Like Herbert almost threw an interception, like with like 4 minutes to go, and then Raiders get the ball back, don't get the march downfield, so they're still down 20-9, and then the Chargers are in that situation. It's like 2.5 minutes to go, just run the clock out, and Hampton fumbles. And it's like, okay, well, now this could be a game. Raiders have all three timeouts. They march down, get a touchdown here. This is now, like, this is a game. Like, this is interesting. And then Raiders don't get anything first two. Like, I think it's like 3rd and 6, right? They get a little bit of something on like second down. And there's pretty clearly a pass interference on Derwin James. And they've just been talking Derwin James. Like they talked up Derwin James the whole game. I was like, yeah, Derwin James is good, but like, damn. They just kept talking about how great Derwin James is. And he got like a clear PI, and they're like, yeah, you got away with one here. And then like it's incomplete on fourth down. That was it. And I was like, what? Okay. Like if it wasn't such a late game, and I hate being the ref guy. I don't want to be that guy. But I was sitting here. I mean, I was watching in my bed. It was late. It's like 1:15, 1:30 on the East Coast. I'm thinking, if this wasn't on this late, I think more people would be like, what the hell was that? Because they just
Like,
completely missed call.
yeah, probably. I mean, I didn't watch any of that game because it's like that's way too late of a start time. I mean, I get it was on the West Coast, so it's like, it's a good time there, but it's like trying to watch it over here was impossible. I was not staying up for that game. But I don't know. I mean, Geno Smith, he threw three
Bad game.
picks.
Yeah, it was a bad game.
Yeah, you can't do that and really expect to win. And it's kind of disappointing that Hampton fumbled, because if he's getting those carries in that late game situation, they're trying to build some trust in him, and then he fumbles. That's not a good start.
All right, I got two things. I'll start with the first one. Side note, I feel like the West Coast time slot for football would suck. 10 a.m. is your first game, 1 p.m. is your second game, and then Sunday night football kicks off at 5:15. That's bad. Like Sunday night football gets over and it's like, all right, what are we gonna do with the evening? It's like 8:30.
Yeah, yeah. I think Central Time might be the perfect
Yes.
perfect time slot.
Yes.
You get to watch noon. You get those, well, now 3 o'clock games, and then a little like 7 o'clock football. So it's done 10, a little
Yeah.
after 10. So that's the ideal
Well, and
ideal
it's
football
perfect because
watching time slot.
lunchtime is first game, dinner time is Sunday night football. Because the way you're on the East Coast, you're eating lunch and then watching, and then you're eating dinner and then watching. I mean, you could have a late dinner at 8 o'clock. I've done it, but it would be really nice. I think Central is the best. I
Yeah,
100% agree. But
yeah,
10 a.m. wake up, you think that's cool? But then I think about, all right, we're gonna go. Let's say we live in the West Coast, right? It's like we're gonna go to the Raiders game. We got to be up at like 9 o'clock if you're trying to get there. You know what I mean? Like, nah, that's
yeah, yeah. You got to be up early if you plan on and then tailgating is just a completely different story.
oh yeah.
They already start early on the East Coast. Imagine the West Coast.
That's no, exactly. I mean, I take that back. We wouldn't even wake up at 9 o'clock. You'd be waking up at like 8 o'clock if you're like an hour out from the stadium. Like 8 o'clock, you get there, you get through everything. Now it's like half hour till game time. Like that would blow. That
But I
would
guess
blow.
to I guess to be fair, they do put majority of the West Coast games in the 4 o'clock time slot to kind of um, you
Mitigate
know
that.
mitigate that.
No, but I think Central Time might be the best. But the only thing is the Super Bowl is always 6:15. It's the only game a year that's a 6:15 start. And that would suck. The Super Bowl's at 3:15. Are you
Yeah, it's
serious?
a bad time.
That's
It's a bad
awful.
time.
Awful. The Super Bowl get over and be like, you guys want to go get something to eat? It
Right.
sucks.
Yeah.
All right. All right, my second thing. I'm I'm not doing it with the Chargers. I'm still out. Everybody's like, "Oh man, they play so good." Shut. They played pretty good. Herbert had some big throws, but Herbert's always had big throws. Like this is kind of the way he's always played. I think we're doing a little bit of like confirmation bias where the narrative of, oh, this is Herbert's year because he's dating Madison Beer. I think people are just like looking like, does this make sense to you? Like, I think he's playing pretty much the way he always plays. Now, I will admit, game one against the Chiefs, that was legitimately a great game by him. That was, I'm saying. But last night, people were like, oh man, Herbert. And I'm like, this is a pretty standard Herbert game. He made a couple big throws. But mostly other than that, a lot of the stuff they're doing, they're just running that like spacing, and he's just throwing it 5 yards in front of him, and then they're getting like 3 yards run after catch, and then now it's second and two, and then they hand it off, and now it's first and 10. Let's do the same thing. Like he did have some big throws, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying maybe I'm becoming a Herbert hater at this point because I was like, people are hyping this shit up, and I'm like, I'm not doing it yet. He did look good, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, it's not like this is a whole new level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Gosh, I think the weird thing with the Chargers has been how much we expect them to be such a run-heavy offense. That's why, Marion has been so popular in fantasy because it's like, Najee had that eye injury from the fireworks or,
Yeah, whatever
whatever,
that was.
whatever he did. So it's like we expected them to be so run-heavy that I think it's like people have kind of been like, whoa, Herbert's throwing it around a lot more than we expected. And he looked amazing that first game. I can't speak on last night's game, but he just looked killer in that Friday game.
Oh yeah. He was
But
doing everything. And I'm saying he did play well last night. Don't get me wrong. But I am saying I wasn't like, holy shit, every other play. Like he probably had 4 to 5 plays I was really impressed with. But like, it's not like he's Josh Allen. Does that like people are acting like he's Josh Allen now? I don't know. Josh Allen and Lamar are still like leagues above this dude.
yeah, I think maybe it's also like they're starting 2-0, and the Chargers. I feel like they're always known for like losing weird ways, so maybe that also helps it that they started out 2-0.
I guess what I'm saying is Baker should be getting this hype. That's why the team that impressed me the most is the Bucks. They played a great game.
Okay.
That final drive was impressive.
The final drive was amazing. The drive before was very poor. But
That's true. That's true.
the Texans defense I think is a very good defense. So, winning against them, putting up 20 points still, they should have had more if McLaughlin didn't miss that kick, but I think they I think they're just the team that we kind of expected them to be this far. We expected them to win, and then Baker, he wins in the close games, which is my favorite thing about him is that
Oh, yeah.
like I know he's going to just like he'll do anything he can on like fourth down or with the game on the line.
Well, and you know Baker's my favorite quarterback, has been for a long time. And perhaps my favorite piece with him is that he doesn't run like a quarterback. When he runs, he like kind of like burrows up like this and like marches. It's like he thinks he becomes like Barry Sanders. Like he thinks he becomes a running back. In his mind, he's like, this is my moment to be a running back. He doesn't run like the way a lot of these QBs look like giraffes. Like he puts his head down and acts like he's prime Bo Jackson. I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I think he might. Hopefully not, but he might pay for that after football when his head might hurt a little bit. But
I think Baker is like top pick to be a commentator out of any player in the league right now.
I think I think Jameis might have him
Yeah,
by an
Jameis.
edge, but no, Baker's like he's got the personality that everybody likes. He's like he wants to just win all the time, and like yeah, he's a
I
good
think Jameis
personality.
is a halftime guy. I don't think he's in the booth. I think he's too goofy. You got to contain him to like a show, right? Like he could be on ESPN doing a show. You can't put him in a booth. He'd just be goofing around too much.
Yeah, I could see that.
Baker is like, I mean, he's set up to just take Tony Romo's job once Tony's done. Like that, I mean, that could be Baker and he would do a great job. I think like him, Jameis, obviously. they're gonna try it with Burrow because he's good looking and people like him. I don't know if he is gonna be good at it. I don't know if he has a personality. That's kind of Brady's problem. I don't think Brady's like, I think Brady's pretty good, but I think Tony's better.
Yeah, I think Tony is he might almost be the best, if not.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, he's got a good personality, but also has like insane knowledge of the game to where it's just like he can explain things super easily. He makes the game fun to watch when he's commentating.
I think Brady's clearly knowledgeable, but like Brady can't shed the assholeness of Brady. And I mean, this guy's the best to ever do it. Don't get me wrong. I like Tom Brady, but I think he's just kind of an ass. Like when you're watching the game, there's always a moment where he's like, they shouldn't have done that. I don't know why they're doing that. Why didn't they do this? And it's like he's right. He knows what he's talking about, but it's just like, dude, chill out.
I don't know who it was during the Bills Jets game, but whoever the one commentator was, he was laying it down on each player when they made a mistake. He was making sure everybody knew. It was interesting. Like at first, I was like, oh, he's holding them accountable, and then at some point, I was like, oh, he's kind of
Yeah.
you know he's
Well,
kind of being a little aggressive.
I think that's the thing people do with Brady. Like you'll see people being like, "Oh, I love Tom Brady," calling guys out, blah blah blah. Wish he like you'll see videos of him talking like about how these different players he wishes they did this. Like I wish this more in the broadcast. I'm like, you think you want that? And then he does that for more than 5 minutes, and you're like, shut up, like shut up. I'm enjoying. It's like watching the movie with some guy who doesn't like it. And he's like, oh, that was a dumb one. Like watch the movie of that guy, like that old Key and Peele skit. You know what I mean? When he's like uh, you know, the Say Something Original in that movie when he's like the Dark Knight and he's like, okay, kind of like that guy. That's what it reminded me of. I don't know. I think Tony does a good job. Like he clearly seems to enjoy what he's watching, and he'll be like he'll say like that wasn't a good move there. But, like most of the time, Tony's excited. Like it's that's why Scott Hansen's so good. Is because Scott Hansen is excited about the product and he's trying to deliver to you the best product because he just loves football. And I think Brady sometimes he's still like a competitor and he's like, I'm better than this guy, or this guy should have done this. And it's like, dude, we don't this isn't about you. It's like the dad at the high school football game who's like, we need to be doing this. All right, we need to be when they're in cover three, I think we gotta get Johnny on this side. It's like, dude, go be on the coaching staff. You get what I'm saying? We're just trying to watch Timmy and Billy play some football. Like let's just chill out.
Yeah, I think maybe he is still in a little bit of a little football playing mindset, but I think give him I think he got better after his first year, and then I think give him maybe a little bit more time, and he'll. I feel like he still wants to go out there and play,
Yeah.
sometimes, but give him some time, and he'll probably kind of break into more of just the analytical and building his personality, which I think he's done well. You could definitely tell the difference compared from his like first broadcast to
Oh yeah.
now.
He's improved. I 100% agree he's improved. I just think, like I said, I can't wait for when it's Baker on Fox and
Yeah,
Baker or CBS or whoever. Baker's gonna be money. Like Baker's gonna be great. Now, as far as the Bucks go, I think they have a top five defense. I think they have a quarterback who can win you games that I trust in the playoff. I mean, Baker has playoff wins. I was not trying to be an ass. I said this the other day. I was like, I liked Herbert for a long time. Baker has way more playoff wins. I think Baker has two or three, and because he has one with the Browns, and then I think he has one with the Bucks, and maybe he has two with the Bucks. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. But I'm saying Herbert's never won a playoff game, and I trust Baker Mayfield in big games. Like I do. I hardly like he used to make big mistakes back in the day. Like over time, he just doesn't make as many mistakes. He still throws a decent amount of interceptions. I understand that.
yeah,
But it feels like in the big moments, I trust him. Like, so I mean, it's kind of like that Jared Goff level quarterback where it's like, yeah, you're not one of the elite guys, but we can win the Super Bowl with you. I'm sure of that. And yeah, I like what the Bucks have going on a lot. And I think, if there's a team in the NFC that could just win 12 games, and you're like, damn, I didn't expect that at the beginning of the year. It's the Bucks. Like I think this is a good team. And I mean, Abuka's been nuts, but we all knew Abuka was going to be nuts. Like there, a lot of good buzz around him going into the season, and for good reason. I also think Todd Bowles is a good coach, and I like that. I mean, he's one of the few defensive coordinators that's a head coach right now. A lot of the coaches right now are offensive guys. Not a lot of DCs. Like him and Mike McDonald are like the two DCs I can think of at the moment. Oh, Aaron Glenn, of
John
course.
McDermott as well was a
Really?
DC. Yeah.
Who was he
Sean
with?
McDermott. Sean McDermott was with the Panthers, I want to say, as a DC.
Oh, I knew that. I don't know
Yeah.
why I asked. As soon as you said it, I remembered that because it was when we
Him
won
and
the Super Bowl. It was like those teams,
yeah, he was
like Josh Norman days, like way back.
yeah, he was under what was it, Rivera at the
Yeah,
time?
Ron Rivera. I don't know why I asked that. I feel really dumb now. As soon as you said it, I remembered. I was like, I knew that. I mean, middle school Ryan was watching those Panthers teams. But yeah, I can't believe. Sorry, that was a dumb question. I remember as soon as you said I could picture him in the gear. Damn, if only he would come back.
And then other than that, what is Vrabel's defense, right? He's been a
Gotta
defensive
be.
guy.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I actually wonder what Vrabel, I mean, there's no way he was just hired as a head coach. I mean, like, he
No,
had to
I
do
mean
something
he
before.
has some tree. I mean, he played for the Patriots, so I assume maybe he was on the Patriots staff
Dude, he
before he
went to
went to the
Walsh Jesuit
Titans.
High School. That's in Cuyahoga Heights.
I was saying I've heard of that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I've
he's really
seen it.
from, yeah, that's crazy. He was DC with the Texans for 1 year because he coached linebackers for the Ohio State. Then he just coached D line. Then he coached linebackers for the Texans for 2 years, well, 3 years, and then he was DC of the Texans for 1 year. Then the Titans scooped him up. And I mean, I think he had a winning season like 3 out of 4 times with the Titans. I want to say his Titans teams were. I remember being good. Let me look it up. So yeah, every single year at the Titans, he had a winning record except his last 2 years. So I guess it'd be 4 out of 6 years he had a winning record. 7 and 10 and 6 and 11 his last 2 years.
Yeah, because he was known as he had the one seed I think one year, but other than that, it was like 9-7, or like
Yeah.
10-6.
9 and 7, 9 and 7, 11-5, 12-5, 7-10, 6-11. That's his.
Did 12-5 get the first seed?
Yeah, it's when they lost to the
That's
Bengals.
that's crazy that 12-5 gets the number one seed.
Well, I
That's
think they were the
pretty.
2 seed
Were they the two seed?
because that would have been. Yeah, because remember the 1 seed gets the bye. So they'd have been the
Okay.
two
Was
seed.
that
I mean, I can pull up 2021 NFL playoffs and look at it real quick. I'll just do that for us. Well, I think I might have to look up 2020. Uh, no, it'd be 2022. Might be what it wants. Yeah, I'll look at that real quick. No, uh, you were right. That was they were the 1 seed,
gosh, 12-5 as a one seed? That just feels like low. Feels
right?
really, really low.
Am I making sure I'm looking at this right? Wait a minute. Give me a second, Brayden. I have to check this. Because now I know this is bad podcasting for me technically, but I have to check this. Um, okay, looking at it right now. All right. They were this. Okay, well, it's hard to find a real image because like this is all like saying like fan voted results. You know what I mean? I can't find just like the actual bracket that was like what they actually had. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, they were. They were the first. They were. I'm looking at it right now. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's pretty unbelievable. That was with gosh, don't tell me their quarterback was Marcus Mariota.
No, Ryan Tannehill.
Oh my God, yeah, that was a Ryan Tannehill era.
Yeah,
I
that's
forgot.
Tannehill.
Yeah,
So this is this playoff year for what it's worth. Tennessee 1 seed, Vegas, Cincinnati 4-5, New England, Buffalo 6-3, Pittsburgh, Kansas City 7-2. So KC wins, and obviously Buffalo wins. Because I remember that I took the Patriots upset the Bills that year because that was like Mac Jones' rookie year when he was balling out for them next
yeah,
Tom
that
Brady.
was that was like Josh Allen's perfect game.
Yeah.
It was
And
like four or
then
five touchdowns.
that's the great divisional game between Kansas City and Buffalo, 42-36. And then Cincinnati upsets Tennessee 19-16 after beating Vegas 26-19. And then Cincinnati beats KC in the AFC Championship. Still just bananas that happened. Like, honestly. Do you know,
Yeah,
in
that's
fact, do you know that I actually predicted that? Did I ever tell you this? I'm very proud of this.
you predicted what the Bengals.
I in January of 2021, well, it would be 2022, right? I used to do a show with my friend Quinn called The Big Salad. It was presented by the Sort of Sports podcast, The Big Salad. That's what I call it. Him and I would talk every week about football. And I said to him, I was like, look, we're doing playoff predictions. I just think the Bengals have a magic right now. I'm taking them over the Rams to the Super Bowl. And he's like, dude, there is no way the Bengals make a run. I'm like, I'm telling you, they got good vibes right now. They're feeling it, taking the Bengals because they had won like 7 straight games in the year. And then they ended up, I was 1 game off. That was like the best I've ever done in playoff predictions.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm usually, yeah,
you can't get much better than that.
that was
I
a long
mean, there's
shot.
only one game better you can get. So
Yeah.
that was a good Super Bowl.
I think is that our last like really good Super Bowl? I think technically Niners Chiefs was a good one. It's just
Yeah, it's just nobody wanted to see that.
there's something about when the Chiefs play a team like the Niners, it kind of loses the sauce because you want to root against the Chiefs, but then it's the Niners, like one of the winningest teams in football.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
least they have Brock Purdy.
it was a super weird game because they gosh, they kicked first or no, it was something weird with the overtime rules where they were like the players were upset about it. But I remember that whole Super Bowl was super weird.
Yeah, because the Niners didn't realize that like the scoring, it was something. Yeah, what was it? It was like
It's
did the
something
nine?
with the scoring, so they thought like they should have kicked first or it was something like that.
Okay, I know what it was. They chose to receive first, and they thought that it was the old rules. So if they got the touchdown, they won. So then they just kicked a field goal. Chiefs marched down, scored a touchdown, and won. And everybody was like, "Oh, I didn't know." Which here's the thing. I think one of two things happened there. A, they legitimately didn't know, and if so, that's on you. Or B, they did know, and they just don't look stupid, so they lied, which is also on you. So it's like,
I mean, I have to believe that Shanahan and like the team knew, and they're like, yeah, we want the ball first. I don't know why you want it first against the Chiefs. It's like you know that the Chiefs are probably going to score a touchdown, so I feel like you'd rather them go down, score, and then you know what you need to get because then you get 4 downs. But it was super weird.
no, that was weird. Super. Yeah, it's 56, 56 the last great. The super fun about 56 was that Rams team the whole year you knew was good. I mean, didn't they go like 14-3? Like they were absurd.
Yeah,
And everyone knew that team was going to be good. And they were awesome to watch. And they went out and they got OBJ and they got Von Miller. It was just a bonkers team. And Cooper Kupp should have probably been the MVP that year, in my opinion. Triple crown. It was crazy. He was everybody's best player in fantasy. And then you have this Bengals team that like everyone just liked. Like everybody's like, this team rocks. And it was just a really fun Super Bowl. I think America's Super Bowl this year would be like Bills Lions, and then like Satan's would be Chiefs Eagles again.
yeah,
That's like the really bad scenario.
yeah. If that happens again, we're gonna have problems. I mean, I think the Chiefs play the Giants. I think this week,
Yeah, what do
so
you
there's
see
no
from that?
I see the Chiefs going 1-2. I don't see any other possible scenario.
I see this game being absurdly close, but like the Chiefs winning off a walk-off field goal.
I could see that happening. I mean, that happened so many times last year, against teams where they just should have hypothetically blown them out, but they
Mhm.
didn't.
I remember so vividly talking about that season 2021. The Chiefs had a slow start that year, and everybody was like, "Oh man." No, sorry, it was 2022 is the year this happened. Chiefs had a slow start in 2022, and everybody was like, "Oh man, Chiefs are just not the Chiefs of old. Like they're just not the same." And like I remember they started the year and they were like 4-2 or something like that. And it was like week 7, they had a Monday night football game against the Giants. And Mahomes gave some interview and he was like, people are going to see this is the week we turn things around. We're going to show everybody we're still the Chiefs of old. And they like blasted the Giants on Monday Night Football. And I remember saying to my mom, I'm like, cool, they beat the Giants. Like this doesn't mean anything to me. I'm like, the Giants were yeah, we're back. Like the Giant, like especially those days. Like, come on. I think that was the 2022 Giants who actually ended up going like 11-6. But I don't care. It was the Giants. Like, get over yourselves. And then it was funny is they won the Super Bowl that year. So it was like, whatever. Fuck me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the Chiefs Eagles would actually be a disaster. So I really hope that doesn't happen.
I think if the Ravens made the Super Bowl, there would be like a push to be behind it, but I just don't think they're that popular nationally.
They are, and people find plenty of ways to hate on Lamar, and people don't like the Harbaughs, and it's just like
Yeah.
I think they would just root for whoever the NFC team was.
So if it's
Honestly,
Ravens Eagles, it's just like, ooh,
yeah,
yeah, because the Eagles are an absurdly popular team in Pennsylvania. Like I don't really think they have a lot of national appeal. At least it doesn't seem to be. Like we live Midwest, and there's not a lot of Eagles fans.
yeah, definitely not, and I'm not sure if it's different anywhere else, but it seems like they're definitely like a hometown type of team.
Yeah,
Like everybody in Philly is just diehard.
yeah, they don't have a lot of national appeal. Like sometimes you just don't. Like the Bills really become popular nationally. I mean, you're well aware of that being a diehard Bills fan, but like, this is your team right now is probably the most popular it's going to be your entire life.
Probably, unless something crazy happens, we get another generational QB. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
You're gonna get Rome McCarthy a couple years, JJ's son.
yeah. We'll get him in 2045.
Yeah. It's actually scary when you said that. I was like, oh shit, he's like 21 years younger than me. It's
Yeah,
absurd.
yeah.
It's actually a wild thought. Anyways, JJ McCarthy only being a year older than me, scary thing that happened this week. He makes like
Yeah.
$10 million a year and has a kid, and he's only a year older than me. It's pretty bonkers.
I think what a scary thing was is Quinshon Judkins just turned 20. Maybe he just turned 21. No, he just turned 21. I think. I hope that's what it was. But his
See, you're
birthday was
younger
on
than
the
me.
game.
You're still doing okay. Like your guys are still in college. My guys are pros.
Yeah, yeah. That's just absurd when you think about that.
Yeah. Well, Brayden, I had a whole segment we were going to do like the 0 and 2 teams, which ones need to panic, but I feel like we covered all the interesting ones. And I don't think you want to sit here and have me say the Panthers were weird and yeah, it was whatever.
Let's do the segment.
All right. All right, so you want to do that? You want to do the 0 and 2 team panic meter?
Let's do the 0-2 panic meter.
Okay. So I'll just read off some teams. Let's say you give me the panic meter where we're at. All right. First one. We already talked a little bit about the Bears. What are you thinking?
Panic meter high. I think you're expecting them to have at least one win at this point. Caleb, it hasn't been as great of a start as we expected.
Well, I don't know if you've looked at their schedule. But like this week they have the Cowboys, and then the week after that they have the Raiders. So two teams that aren't, I think, incredible, but they're not easy wins. So if you end that 0 and 4, woof. And then they go to
Yeah,
Washington, and Jaden Daniels will probably be back by then.
yeah, that'd be a serious problem.
Yeah, that's not a good look for Ben Johnson. I also think I don't really know what the plan is when you're them if Caleb isn't the guy. Is Ben Johnson going to have to rework another quarterback? I mean, we'll see. All right, next 0 and 2 team, the Jets.
Jets, nah, I think it. I mean, I think their expectations were probably around here, so I think they're fine. It's a little scary with Justin Fields being hurt, but I think I think they'll finish kind of where they expect to be. They probably won't be a playoff team from the looks of it this far, but it'll be okay.
Well, and I think the thing is with the Jets too. I'd honestly forgot their own too. I felt like they won last week. Like they were
Yeah,
also
against the
happy.
Steelers. Yeah,
Yeah. Like they were also happy they played well and Justin Fields had a big game. Like it felt like they won last week, but I like Aaron Glenn. I actually feel like he's gonna do a good job with the Jets.
we'll see. Defensive, minded head coaches have definitely phased out of this, current era of the NFL. But I think it's a wait and see. And, Justin Fields, this is his last hope. That's for sure.
What was Harbaugh back in the day?
John Harbaugh,
Oh my gosh, wait, I just looked it up. He was a special teams coordinator. Wow.
is that John Harbaugh that you're
Yeah.
looking at?
Yeah, Jim was I know Jim was offensive mind. I just wonder what John was.
Yeah, I knew John was because that's like they always talk about how big their like special teams, special teams, special teams. I feel like they always used to talk about it.
Dude, he coached at Morehead State for a year. It's always just funny that these like NFL coaches always have like a year or two at like small schools. And like imagine being like the head coach at Morehead State, and one year you had John Harbaugh just on staff. It's just like hilarious looking back on, right?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
position do you think John Harbaugh played in high school? Well, in college too, at
John
Miami of Ohio.
John Harbaugh,
Because Jim played quarterback for Michigan. John played at Miami of Ohio. What position? It's not kicker.
not kicker. Was it defense? How about corner?
Yeah, DB.
Yeah.
You get locked down by John Harbaugh on some late night action in the 80s. Wow. Yeah, born in Toledo, Ohio. Dude, he's coached the Ravens since I was 4 years old.
He's been there for a very long time.
He's the longest tenured coach, right? It's him and then Mike.
Yeah, I think those two guys, because it was, Bill was up there until all that happened. But I think it's gotta be him and Tomlin.
Was Belichick technically fired or he retire?
I think they parted ways.
Damn. Rough beat for probably the GOAT.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Dolphins.
Panicked.
Is this the
Tua.
biggest panic meter?
Yes, I think so. I think this is at the top of the panic meters. They are. I don't know. I don't know who they are. I think they're a team where you'll see their coach be fired at some point throughout the season, and you'll see them lobbying for a change in quarterback.
John Gruden odds to be Miami Dolphins. What are the odds?
Not very high.
You don't think so?
I'd be surprised if he makes a return to the NFL just with the controversies, and I'd find it surprising. We'll see.
I'd love to see him out there.
I think it would be fun just because the personality he is. So it would be exciting.
He's immensely entertaining. And
Yeah,
granted, though, some of the best football content on the internet would then be taken away from us because he would be gone.
it's true. We wouldn't get his weekly picks anymore.
Dude, he took the Raiders. He was wrong. He's biased towards the Raiders, though. Those are his boys.
Right. He wasn't going to pick against them.
He also, I don't think, likes Jim Harbaugh.
He might not.
Most coaches don't like the Harbaughs. Pete Carroll doesn't like Jim Harbaugh. Like, they're ops.
Yeah, and I think it's like I don't think the thing at Michigan helped him either.
No, no, definitely not. All right, next 0-2 team, Giants.
Um, I think it's just kind of, Russ played amazing. They had a good game. I think they're kind of at that middle level. I could see if they by week 8 or 9, if they have only 2 or 3 wins, then Dabble might be getting the boot, and it might be Jackson Dart time.
I honestly wonder if you're Brian Dable, right? Are you just kind of like, if we're 500 by midseason, we put Dart in, see how it looks. I keep my job? Probably.
Maybe. I think if he's looking to keep his, I don't know. I think it depends on how Russ plays after these next few weeks. If he shows that maybe he does still have a little bit of something, then maybe he keeps riding with him to hopefully get to 500 or maybe above. But I don't see that happening with the Giants. I think they're undisciplined. I think they're not a great team. I don't see it happening.
If I'm Brian Daboll, I am throwing the kitchen sink out Sunday night against the Chiefs. Because if I beat the Chiefs week 3 on Sunday Night Football and send them to 0-3 and give this young, fun Giants team that seems like nationally people think are kind of fun and like because they have Cam Scatterboo and people think Dart's fun. They have Jameis Winston and everybody knows Abdul Carter's going to rock and Sexy Dexty's there. If we beat the Chiefs Sunday Night Football, get our first win of the season, I feel like my job security goes up at least like 30%.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you make the Chiefs start 0-3, not only do you get a win, but you become like the most loved team for a week
Yeah.
in the NFL.
And all the
So
tweets
that,
are like, oh, this Giants team, it's either Russ is back or here comes Dart or if Jameis somehow played, famous Jameis does it again or like Cam Scatterbo has a big game, the internet, like this is the internet's favorite shitty team. And if you could beat the
yeah,
Chiefs Sunday night, you're going to become the internet's favorite shitty team potentially the whole season.
yeah, I think that's. they have the chance to do something that's really funny. Will they do it? I doubt it. But like you said, it'll be a weirdly close game.
It will. It's a stay away for me. No bets on anything. No money line, no spread. Not touching it. Not touching it.
Really, I almost, if I had to pick a lock for the week, I think the Chiefs.
Oh, like
I
you're
mean,
saying in a Survivor League, that's your pick?
no, my pick would probably be the Bills. I would pick the Bills this week. Well, actually,
I took the Packers in our Survivor.
I look at the games.
Packers Browns was my pick. There's no way in hell the Packers lose the Browns.
Yeah, that one's got to be a favorite. I think the Bucks are up there against the Jets,
I
and
still
then
think the
Bills
Jets might have
Dolphins.
something, so that's why I'm not betting against them yet.
I do think that the Jets could win. I think they have better odds than the Browns, of course, but yeah, the Packers Browns definitely have to be a lock of the week.
All right. Speaking of them, 0-2, Browns panic.
Just kind of waiting for the season to be over.
Yeah. It's not like anybody came into this year thinking they were going to be good. Like if you're a Browns fan thinking you're going to be good this year, like we know a lot of Browns fans, none of them thought they were going to be good. And I have some of them, like Matt was saying to me the other day, he's like, "Oh, you think Gabriel should get in it?" I'm like, "Why? Like, for what purpose right now? Like, who's like, who like?" And in Joe Flacco's defense, John Harbaugh might know him better than his own wife does. So like, of course Joe Flacco's going to lose to Harbaugh and the Ravens.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco, he's just is so immobile. He's this old guy that is just still. This is gotta be. I think this might be his last year in the NFL. So it'll be his glory ride out. I think the Browns will finish with like 4 wins.
Yeah, and the sad part is when you're them, once again, at this moment, doesn't look like there's a lot of treasure at quarterback. Just take Caleb Downs. I'm just saying, like he's the best player in the draft. Just take Caleb Downs.
No, their offense needs some heavy work. Their their line is tough. Their number two weapon might be David Njoku, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not Cedric Tillman?
Cedric Tillman is probably the worst wide receiver two I've ever seen.
He got a pass the other day. He caught something the other day, man.
He caught one that was tipped. He
Yeah.
can't catch one that doesn't get tipped. I don't know.
No, you're right. Cedric Tillman sucks. Um, I want to see Shador if we're bringing out the backups. Let's end the controversy.
Yeah, I don't think just with the politics and all that stuff that's going on, Gabriel being listed ahead of him, it would be Gabriel that'll get the first look. And Shador might not even play this year, but he is going to stay on that team because he makes them money, a
Here's the
lot of
thing.
money.
Here's the thing. I want to point this out. The Browns on December 7th play the Titans at home, and on October 19th play the Dolphins at home. One of those two games we should be seeing Shador Sanders. Let him go up against a bad Dolphins team at home on October 19th. Let's see it.
Yeah, we'll see. And it's that whole. I think it's just waiting for the inevitable. I think Stefanski knows he might be on the way out, and we'll just see what goes on there. It's an interesting team.
Funniest possible outcome to the Browns. Shador rocks. Stefanski is fired, and John Gruden teams up with Shador in Cleveland. Is there a funnier outcome? I think that's funnier than Dion being the coach.
I think John Gruden would stay away from the Browns with a 100 feet pole.
No, you're 100% right. But isn't that the funniest outcome?
It would be funny.
Gruden and Shador, like just the biggest media team of all time, and it's the Browns.
That would bring in a lot of money.
I'm just saying. That's if there's one thing Jimmy Haslam likes, it's money. It's not
It
winning.
is money. That it hasn't shown he likes winning at all.
No. Why does that matter? Who the hell wants to do that? All right. All right. New Orleans Saints, they're 0-2.
I think they're. I thought they'd be the worst team in football, and It's a fight between them and the Browns. So they don't have anything special. Spencer Rattler's not special. I guess, Tyler Show, however you pronounce his last name, isn't special.
No.
I don't know what's going on there. Alvin Kamara is still on the team, so that's news. But
They actually don't have that bad of weapons, like offensively.
no, they don't. They have Olave, they have Kamara, but it's just like
Rashid
outside of
Shaheed's
that,
okay. Their tight
Rashid
end's been putting
Shaheed's
up numbers.
uh, Jawan Johnson has been a baller these first 2 weeks. So you know what? Maybe they shock the world here. Upset alert, market Saints over Seahawks.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, see, I like the Seahawks team. I would never.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna actually be watching that game closely though, because if the Seahawks are good, they win this game handedly, and if the Seahawks are bad, this is the one they blow. Like you're right. If the Seahawks aren't that good, this is when we see that they're not, because like the Saints would just kind of sneak up on them.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe.
Um, all right. Quick thing. The Colts, right? We'll discuss this probably next week more, but are they the Saints of last year, or are they legit?
I
The Colts
think
are 2-0.
they're
They're not 0-2. I'm just saying, but like,
I think they're a road between the middle. They got lucky this last week with that whole leverage thing going on. But Danny Dimes he's been his name. He has been by far like he's definitely the lead runner for comeback player of the year right now. Right.
has to be.
So um, we'll see if this is like his second win and if he can, continue to build off of that. But looking at their schedule, this week they play the Titans, which is a divisional game, so that's always, it'll always be a tough one. But if they start 3-0, I think they'll win the division. But I think they are still like a year or two from doing anything crazy, just because of how
You cut
many.
out. What'd you say?
I said I think that they're still like a year or two out from doing anything crazy. But I mean, if they win the division, they could be like a fun wild card team to watch.
I think it'd be really frustrating if you're a Colts fan because like ever since Manning left, right? So it's like you get Andrew Luck, and it's like holy shit. And I maintain, I don't know if I've told you this take. If Luck doesn't retire, I think that team probably wins maybe 2021. I think they beat the Rams. I think Andrew Luck is like one of the best quarterbacks in the league at that point. I know it's like super alternate universe stuff because that would be like 3 years after he retired. But I'm just saying, like, I think they get a Super Bowl at some point. They were on the upswing. That's how they had a good year with Philip Rivers. They almost beat the Bills that time. That was crazy. Like they would have had a good team. They probably would have made the Super Bowl. And like him leaving kind of messed everything up because they were on like a path up. So they've been like kind of teeter-tottering ever since because they built a Super Bowl team for Andrew Luck, but he wasn't there to lead it. So now they're just like dancing around. They're in like a really weird spot. And I just don't know how you get
Yeah,
over that hump.
yeah. I really, speaking of Andrew Luck, I really hope Joe Burrow isn't this generation's Andrew Luck. Like that offensive line is an issue that
Hmm.
needs to be fixed. Joe Burrow he's the guy that wins you games. So, um, you know, hopefully he comes back from this and next year gets an offensive line around him and maybe not pay a bunch of money to offensive weapons because he probably doesn't need them. But anyways, on the Colts, yeah, I think Andrew Luck was generational
I agree.
talent. Like
So good.
he was like I think he was like the physical specimen that has now built into what people look for in a QB. Um, but
But he
just
was a supercomputer. Like,
oh, he is. I mean, he went to Stanford. I mean,
yeah, he was nuts.
he's a genius. So he's their GM now, which is kind of an interesting little fun fact.
What?
But
That is
yeah,
not that public. I didn't know that.
he's Stanford's general manager.
That's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Wonder if that'll like they'll start building something. No, I want to say I always say this about the Bengals. I think it's funny that the Bengals and Bills both have elite quarterbacks, and they took complete opposite approaches in building a team. The one went, let's maintain all these weapons, the team will build itself. And the Bills were like, screw the weapons. we're going to spread this money around and just get as many, like, instead of having 3 to 4 10 out of 10s, we're going to have one 10 out of 10 and a bunch of 6 and 7s. And that was the way that the Bills built their team. And I think that system clearly works better. Like Khalil Shakir should not be wide receiver one, but it's Josh Allen. So guess what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Khalil Shakir would probably be a wide receiver too on mostly like every other team, but
Maybe
it's
three
when
on some.
he could be three on a few.
Like the
So it's
Eagles, he's
like,
three.
oh yeah, on the Bengals he's three. There's definitely a few where he ends up as wide receiver three, but it's like, I mean, you don't when you have that good of a quarterback, you have a good run game. It's like just build the team around them. Like you don't need to build the team around Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T Higgins. Just build the team around Joe Burrow.
Well, even if you really want to say, well, they need Jamar with Joe, they're best friends, but fine. Okay, that's fine. If that's really the case, why T. Higgins? They,
Yeah.
I don't, I like T. Higgins. I wanted the Panthers to go get him this offseason and make him wide receiver one. I think he's really good. But you don't like, you don't like the Eagles even know they don't even need Devontae Smith. Like he's a luxury that they're able to have him. They don't
Yeah.
need him. They really don't even need AJ Brown, being honest. Once they
I
got
mean,
Saquon, they were set.
yeah, they haven't even needed Jalen Hurts these first two
No.
weeks. They have no passing touchdowns. It has proven that these Eagles can they'll just run the football and win. So
Yeah. And that's at some point, like I'm like, what's it's really funny because like I think they get a lot of credit and like Howie Roseman and for good reason. I think Howie Roseman does a great job. But it's funny, like they got Saquon and everybody's like, that team might win the Super Bowl. And then it was like, yeah, like we just gave the best offensive line in the league, the best running back in the NFL. As long as everybody's healthy, probably gonna win the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know, it's funny we all kind of overthought last season. And it's like, yeah, they're probably gonna be as long as Saquon is healthy and that offensive line is good, they're gonna be a contender. Like, I think you could literally put Daniel Jones as quarterback for the Eagles, and they probably are still a contender. I don't know if they're as good because obviously Hurts is better, but I'm saying they're still a contender.
yeah, they would still be a contender. And I think Hurts doesn't get his flowers, but I it's just that team is so well built and they have just a killer off like yeah.
All right, next 0-2 team, we got four left. We'll do the Panthers. This is
Panthers.
smacking the panic meter. Like,
Yeah, you're panicked. You know, you wanted to kind of build off that momentum you took into the end of last year. So starting 0-2 isn't ideal. Um, you know, we'll see how it shakes out. You don't want to write off Bryce Young yet, but it's like if this is this is his last ride. This is going to be his final opportunity.
well, and like I said, I'm giving them till week four. If we're 0-4, like I just fully don't believe. And the thing that was so frustrating about this loss is like Bryce Young played a really good second half. And so there's like Bryce Young defenders. They're like, oh, it's not his fault, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, he did play a great second half. And then the announcer's like, oh, Bryce Young played a great second half. He fumbled our first drive and threw an interception our next. Now, granted, that interception was one of those he got hit as he was thrown and it popped up. Probably not technically his fault, but I'm saying I'm not forgiving that because you had a great second half. Like you put us in position. I just think there's a really bad thing going on with Panthers now where it's like there's a sect of the fan base that's like Bryce's ass and we messed up. And there's the other sect of the fan base that's like Bryce isn't the problem, this team is ass. And I'm in the middle. I'm like, I think everybody's shitty. And I think Bryce could be good. And I think Tedero is like definitively good, and so is Derek Brown. Those guys are good. I think Canales might be good. I think Bryce Young could be good. Will either of those things happen? Who knows? But if it doesn't by the end of the year, I'm done. Like, there's no point running this shit back. It's like how Avero's still our DC, even though we're the worst defense ever last year. Like, why are we running this back? What are we doing? We don't have to take everybody out. We have to do a full factory reset for the third time. You don't remember? I had to watch Frank Reich coach this team for like 9 weeks. Well, you do remember that. We were friends, but I'm saying like that was, gosh. I think Canal's better than Frank Reich. Frank Reich was Frank Reich was bad.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because I liked Frank Reich as like a offensive guy. but
He was
he,
bad.
yeah, that team didn't turn out so great.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I just think back, and we don't have to talk Panthers that much. I will be done after this because I kind of hopped all over you because I was like, I just had to get this off my chest. It's like it like ruins my Sunday. I was so glad we were the 4 o'clock game because I could just go to dinner and then like go watch Sunday Night Football and try to forget the atrocity I had witnessed.
Yeah,
But when Brian Flores was fired from the Dolphins, I wanted him. I was like, this guy's good. I know he's good. I trust this guy. I think he's a good coach. I wish the Panthers would hire him. And we didn't. And to this day, I'm just like, fuck. I think I might have been right, which doesn't always happen. Like I've been wrong a lot. And I'm saying that was one of the few times like I was right. Brian Flores is good. Like I think everyone universally is he's like the Ben Johnson of DC's. Like everybody's just like, yeah, this guy's a genius.
yeah. I mean, I really liked him. I thought he was good in Miami,
Me
and
too.
then Miami kind of hit that self destruct button, and then Browning McDaniels and they looked like geniuses for doing that for a little bit.
I'm
But
glad he sued the NFL. I don't know whatever came of that, but he did get the shaft because he did a good job there.
yeah, he did a good job, and I think that he'll get his opportunity this next coaching cycle.
Maybe finally we're gonna do it. Like maybe this is all gonna work out. It was just I mean, I don't know. The funny thing is the Panthers too is like nobody remembers Baker Mayfield was on the Panthers for a sec. Like I had it. I had it made. My favorite quarterback in the league was on my team. And that was like it just didn't work at all. Like it didn't work at all. Like it
Yeah,
was Matt Rule just man, Matt Rule was probably the worst Panthers coach I've watched though. He was bad.
I
That's why I'm
forgot
not
he
big on
was a
Nebraska.
coach. Yeah, I forgot he was a coach.
Dude, he was awful. He's the worst one out of all the ones I've witnessed. Like Ron Rivera is like build that man a statue. Like,
Yeah, he's like a legend
yeah.
in his past 20 years.
Yeah. So like Rivera was like build this man a statue. Rule was awful. And then Wilkes was like, oh, there's hope here. And then we didn't rehire Wilkes, which I wasn't. I was a rehire Wilkes guy. And then we got Reich, and I'm like, all right, I'll support this. And we got this new quarterback. I'm in. I wanted Bryce Young. Let's go. And then like, and then at least the nice thing is Stroud might not be. I mean, that brings us into our next one, the Texans. Is maybe Stroud isn't like maybe Stroud's just kind of okay, and that's disappointing, but that might be reality.
I think we'll for sure figure that out soon here. It's hard to say. I feel like their weapons are diminished. Joe Mixon is still who knows what's going on with Joe Mixon. Um, yeah, I think he kind of got overhyped after that rookie year.
I did it. I was like, holy shit, this dude's gonna be the best quarterback in the league. It looked like, dude, he was getting their MVP chatter as if he was a rookie. Remember he had like that 400-yard passing game? Dude, he looked nuts. I know. Jaden Daniels, I don't think's regressed. I think he's still good.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is he'll be fine.
I don't think Jaden Daniels has really gotten worse. I think if Daniels comes back from this injury strong, it's going to be like, okay, he's he's the fifth best. If he can get the Commanders win the division, because the division's open for winning, I do think so. I think it's them and the Eagles, like because Cowboys aren't
I
that good.
agree.
But
I agree.
where's the panic at for the Texans?
I think your panic's kind of moderate to high. They don't know what's going to happen with Joe Mixon. Like I said, he still has at least the next few weeks because he was put on the pup. But I don't know. Their defense is supposed to win them games, and they almost did against the Bucks, but they just didn't. So it's kind of like you expected this team to have the next few generational years. Diggs didn't necessarily work out after his injury. Tank Dell, I'm not sure if he's expected to come back sometime this year. I'm not sure what's supposed to go on there, but I don't know. It's kind of a moderate panic.
Well, and I think they're a team that can beat the bad teams but can't beat the good teams. That's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think the AFC South is in a really interesting spot because the Jaguars I don't think look great, but I don't think they're awful. and we have to see what this Colts team is. And I like what the Titans have going on roster and personnel wise, but I think Brian Callahan shouldn't be coaching this team by week 9. He shouldn't even be coaching them now. I don't think he's a good coach at all. I also think it's absurd that he got a head coaching job as he was the Bengals offensive coordinator. And like you and I talked, a good offense that improved when he left. So, I think it's just because he's Bill Callahan's son. I think it's really all it is. Like, if we're being honest.
Yeah, they don't impress me. They
No.
just don't.
And like I said, I like that roster. That to me, if we're looking at the teams that might have openings this summer, right? Which I know we're doing this week too. I know what I'm saying. Like, if you're looking at it right now, it seems like it's gonna be like Panthers potentially, Titans. Um, Trying to think if there was another one. Maybe the Giants, right? Those will be like some of the ones we're looking at. There's probably gonna be a surprise. Maybe the Dolphins, right? I think the most enticing one is probably the Titans.
It could be
Them or the
young
Giants.
quarterback. Yeah, young quarterback, just like the same with the Giants. Young quarterback, could be a could be a good offense. I think really just teams look for that young quarterback guy. So they'll definitely be an intriguing one when it comes to the offseason.
You want to get hired to a team that has a quarterback because if you come in and you make it with this quarterback, it's like, oh, wow, he came and fixed him. But then if you come in and he sucks, then they're like, oh, well, he needs to get his guy. Like you get 2 years out of it if you're good, if you know
Yeah,
what you're doing. Like that's the nice thing.
yeah, you get multiple attempts.
Yeah, because like that's gonna be the thing that people are gonna argue with Canales. It's gonna be like, oh, well, let him get his guy. It's like, no, 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 Bryce was his guy. He got to no, no, no. We're not doing this. Bring it. I mean, if we suck this year, if we don't win more than 5 games, like don't improve, let's go get Brian Flores. Worst defense in the league. I guarantee you, him alone will raise us to at least out of the bottom five. Doesn't even matter who our personnel change. Like we could have the exact same roster. He will get us out of the bottom five. And you're like, oh, well, that still could be the 25th best defense in the NFL. Still a massive improvement. Like we cannot stop teams. Looked James Conner looked like he was Emmitt Smith against us. Like it was disgusting.
Yeah,
I don't know if the box score lines up with that, but like watching the game, every time he touched the ball, I'm like, it felt like I'm watching like, when you play the Ravens and you're just like terrified of Lamar. That's how I felt watching James Conner. Like that's how bad we are. It's James Conner is James. It's James Conner. Whatever. All right, we're down to the last two. We don't. I don't even think we need to say the Titans aren't panicked. There's no panic for the Titans.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like we already kind of touched them. All right, big one. Chiefs.
Chiefs, I don't know. I don't think they're panicked. When the Chiefs start out 0-3 or 0-4, maybe you can feel a little bit of panic. But there's this forever looming darkness that the Chiefs will win the next 15 games and win the 1 seed. And
Forever
that
looming darkness is crazy. That's
yeah,
right.
that's what Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey just admit. Just this forever looming darkness. So
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't be panicked about them whatsoever.
I thought Andy Reid was going to retire after Super Bowl 58.
I think he wants to. I don't know if they don't make the Super Bowl this year. I think that's a good possibility.
Yeah. It's yeah, there is that for potentially 4 straight Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah,
Bill's got to stop him. That's your guys' claim to fame.
yeah, we own that.
I mean, for better or for worse. All right. Yeah, I think if the Chiefs lose this week against the Giants, we're opening next week with that, right? Like that's the first thing we
Yeah,
talk about.
yeah,
That's gotta be.
agreed,
All right.
agreed.
Well, I had a really good time. Thank you for coming on again, Brayden. I will talk to you again next week. I mean, well, I'll talk to you literally tomorrow, but I'm saying as far as podcast, we'll talk again next week. Thank you again for coming on. And yeah, that was great.
Thank you, and go Bills.
All right. There you go. Hey, I would bet a lot of money you're 3-0 next time we see you. Who do they
I
have
really
week 4?
week 4. I don't even know, dude.
Well, they have like the easiest schedule in the league.
We yeah, we have a pretty nice schedule. It helps that we're in the AFC East.
Dude,
We
you're
have
not
the
gonna believe
Saints.
this. Did you see what it was?
Yeah.
Saints. Yeah, it's incredible. All right, so 4-0. How you feeling?
I feel good.
I all right, this might be we'll end with this. If you're McDermott, like why don't you be like, yo, Josh, like I know you're trying to be MVP and all that, but like Mitch is gonna play the next two games.
That'd be crazy work.
You know how funny it'd be?
That's a
Like
fireable offense.
it's hilarious though. Could you imagine like you're like, yo, like the Dolphins are so ass. We're just gonna start Mitch. Like Josh, take it easy. 2 weeks
I'd
off.
give like the Dolphins like a 20% chance to beat us, and then the
20?
Saints. Yeah,
Dude. That team's
it's
like
a
dysfunctional as hell.
it's a divisional game though. The divisional ones it automatically adds like 5 to 10%.
Okay. The thing is, like, and I know people probably listen to this are like, dude, they almost beat the Patriots. That's fine. I fully accept the fact that the Patriots defense might be terrible because they made Geno Smith look like he was a dog. And then the Chargers defense locked his ass up. And so I think he's probably somewhere in between there. And so I'm like, I've accepted the fact the Patriots offense is good, but the defense I think is bad, which is weird because like you'd expect the reverse out of a Vrabel team. So yeah. All right.
All right, thank you. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
when the Bills are 3-0 and 4-0 and maybe 5-0.
Five. Who's week five?
Patriots.
Oh, shit. 17-0. Here we come.
Call it.
First team to ever do it. See you, Brayden.
See ya.